19th, 2017, the Board of Park Commissioners of the Lake Bluff Park District, Lake County, Illinois. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Earhart.
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon.
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry.
Yes.
Commissioner Mossbarger.
Yes.
Commissioner Patel.
Patera?
Patera, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Patera. Commissioner Wallace.
Yes.
President Douglas.
Yes. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Yeah, man.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Earhart.
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon.
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry.
Yes.
Commissioner Mossbarger.
Yes.
Commissioner Patera.
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace.
Yes.
President Douglas.
Yes. Statement of visitors. I see a few people here, but we can certainly hold that off for any particular items that might come up of their areas of interest. So we'll move on to the meeting minutes. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of May 15th, 2017 regular board meeting?
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Earhart.
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon.
Abstain.
Commissioner McKendry.
Yes.
Commissioner Mossbarger.
Yes.
Commissioner Patera.
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace.
Yes.
President Douglas.
Yes. Moving along, consent agenda. May I have a motion to accept the May 22nd, June 1st, and June 19th, 2017 payrolls?
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Earhart.
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon.
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry.
Yes.
Commissioner Mossbarger.
Yes.
Commissioner Patera.
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace.
Yes.
President Douglas.
Yes. And then I'll follow up with a motion to approve the May 22nd, June 1st, June 19th, 2000. I can't talk this morning, today, sorry. To approve the May 22nd, June 1st, and June 19th, 2017 payables.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Earhart.
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon.
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry.
Yes.
Commissioner Mossbarger.
Yes.
Commissioner Patera.
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace.
Yes.
President Douglas.
Yes. Okay, got through that pretty quick. So we'll now move into unfinished or continuing business. First item is oath of office for Commissioner Gordon.
So Commissioner Gordon was unable to attend the May meeting, so just sort himself in this oath of office. I, Brock Gordon, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Park District Commissioner according to the best of my ability. As a Lake Bluff Park District Commissioner, I further commit to follow the Illinois Association of Park Districts Code of Ethics. To represent the interests of all people in my community, I will not favor any particular special interest, not use my service on this board for my own personal advantage or for the advantage of my friends or supporters, keep privileged information confidential, approach all board issues with an open mind, prepared to make the best decisions for everyone involved, do nothing to violate the trust of those who elected or appointed me to the board or of those we serve. Focus my efforts on the mission of the agency and not on my personal goals. Never exercise authority as a board member except when acting in a meeting with the full board or as I am delegated by the board. You're officially sworn in. Official.
Congratulations, Brock.
Okay. Now we get to move on to the next item here, the audit report for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2016. I believe we have a presentation.
Yes, I'd like to bring forth Ron Amon from Lauterbach and Amon, and do that with the Finance Administration and Future Planning Committee. Welcome, Ron.
Good evening. As Ron said, a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we met with the Finance Committee, had an in-depth meeting on a lot of the different processes, the numbers in the audit. So tonight I'm just going to kind of hit a couple of highlights and then open it up for any questions. In the comprehensive annual financial report, the first page I want to point out is in the introductory section, which is page 9, which is Roman numeral IX. As you recall, in December of 14 was the first time the Park District submitted to the Government Finance Officers Association to apply to the Certificate of Achievement Award. It was earned at December 14. We also submitted at the end of 15. It was earned again. It's a very prestigious award in the audit world, so I think the Park District should be very happy once this report for December of 16 is approved at the board level. We'll submit it to the review program again to get their review comments. Right behind the Certificate of Achievement is the auditor's opinion. This is what we do for the Park District. All units of government are required by state statute to have an auditor's opinion. Your opinion is clean or unmodified, which is the only opinion we want from your auditors. And the basis of that opinion is that the financial statements are materially correct based on our auditing procedures. From there, I'm going to point out page 5. If anybody's flipping through here, just normal page 5, if you get past the MD&A section. The number that we focused a lot at the Finance Committee on page 5 was the third line up from the bottom, and it says net change in financial position. It was a $63,867 loss. We went through lots of different discussion points, but the point of this number is when you look at what happened to the Park District across all 12 months, the fund balance decreased by $63,000. So this is the number that was in your control. It's the number as you process what was budgeted and how you operated for the year. You had a decrease in fund balance for the $63,000. Then the last pages I want to point out in the CAFR is pages 42 and 43. In today's world, especially in the state of Illinois, the pension funds get a lot of press. The Park District is part of what's called the Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund, and on page 42, there was a new GASB 2 years ago, and so we're going to build this table on page 42 and go out 10 years, but you can see the 2 years that are disclosed under the new standard. Both years the Park District was directed by the IMRF plan what was actuarially required to be contributed into the plan, and you can see that the Park District met that 100%. And then on page 43 is the actual assets and liabilities of the IMRF plan. And the most important numbers that we can talk about today, or that I want to point out, is the third line up on the bottom. And you can see at December of 15, the Park District was 86% funded. And at the end of 16, it was 87.63% funded. So a very nice, healthy fund percentage in your IMRF plan. And then my last comment is on the management letter that we issued. There were 2 current recommendations. One is about a new GASB. We'll work with the Park District to implement that new standard that's required in the government world. And the second current comment was related to the Special Recreation Fund that now is in a deficit fund balance position. It was because of all the capital that was expended within that fund, and you can see there that the Park District management, Ron and his team, put together a response that's written right in the face of the management letter. There were 2 prior recommendations that we followed up on. One is funds over budget, and you can see the 15 and the 16 of which funds were over budget. And once again, the staff of the Park District put responses right in there of their explanation of why those funds were over budget. And then the last comment from the prior management letter were the fund balance policy, and there were 2 funds at the end of 16 and at the end of 15 that are not yet in compliance with what the policy of the Park District Board was. So, from there, I can take any questions about the CAFR or about the management letter or about our audit process.
Any questions?
I've been through it, I mean.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Which is great. And around the 65,000 loss, that's explainable, you know exactly what caused that, and that was in the management report,
That was
right?
in the management letter, and
Yeah.
that was outlined in my goals and objectives.
Right.
Where some of the revenue losses came in from the fitness center, some expenses, we had some repairs, so those were kind of the key areas.
Yeah, looks great. Were there any discussion points?
No, well, we had more questions in that meeting than here, but that was a little deeper into the weeds than we want to go into here, so we kind of agreed this is what we're going to present, and so, yeah, I think you guys were happy with the audit, happy with the way it went, had a few issues on the golf, obviously, getting that tied down, but and not much in the management letter, so.
And plus, we've sort of known for now, what, a month or two out, that we were thinking this is where we would be coming in at.
Yeah.
Or maybe it goes back further than that, and that's explainable and all that, so, no surprise.
Okay,
And from our perspective, to meet with the finance committee and be able to get deeper in is always very helpful for ourselves, to understand what the board's thinking and be able to answer questions and talk about a lot of the different numbers. And then also, to piggyback in that, for us to be able to get deeper into the process and talk about Ron and his staff and the nuances of getting through the audit. So it's a great meeting when we sit here and spend an hour plus in the morning. And
It's 6 o'clock in the morning.
It wasn't quite that early, but it was in the morning. So,
I do want to thank Loud Buckingham and Ron for being accessible, as well as his team. Very patient with the golf process, but just any questions, very thorough. We meet in February to talk about what we need to be prepared for. So very, very efficient process on their end. It helps
Yep.
us. So,
thanks, Ron. Appreciate your help.
Well, should I get a motion to accept the audit report submitted by the district's auditor, Auditor Damon LLP, for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2016?
So, or second, or so,
Second.
And have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Earhart?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner McHenry?
Yes.
Commissioner Mossberger?
Yes.
Commissioner Patera?
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace?
Yes.
President Douglas?
Yes.
we'll be posting this online, and then we'll be pushing it into the government system. So we'll go on tomorrow. Thanks, Ron.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving on to finance, the quarterly financial and statistical reports for July, coming up in July.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind everyone that we'll be spending some time going over quarterly reports, basically where are we at year end in more depth. You'll get an opportunity to hear where we're at in all the areas. We're going to schedule a facilities and programs committee meeting to go through some of these items ahead of time, so if there's questions there, but this is typically what we do at a quarter end, so that we're not coming back to the board every month rehashing everything. So I wanted to put that in everyone's mind, and then I thought I'd turn over to Commissioner Mossbarger to just go through the fitness and where we've been at, not in terms of the financials, but really what we discussed in the strategy at the last committee meeting. And then that will then play into a quarterly report that we'll meet with the facilities committee meeting in early July, and then we'll present those financials and statistics at the July meeting. So that I just...
Yeah, so it's been a while since we talked about fitness center. You know, Ron and a team of 5 or 6 folks, all internal to the fitness center, right, Ron?
Yes.
Or at least all Park District, have been doing a lot of work behind the scenes. They're not quite ready to publish any of that information yet, but I thought that you all might want to get an update on kind of what's going on. So, first of all, with golf kind of improved, not kind of improved, it is improved. And seems to be on a steady course for the year. I really think our committee's attention is going to turn to fitness center. It's certainly a focus of mine. Given some of the numbers that I've seen, both financially as well as membership trends, I'm concerned. And I know a number of folks at the table are concerned. I think we needed to take a step back and really take a look at where we've been and kind of where we are before we got into a discussion about where we wanted to go. I don't think we've always done the best job at collecting data in terms of new members coming in, members leaving, why are they leaving, why are they going from annual to quarterly other than money. So Ron and his team have spent a lot of time and energy kind of improving the data collection short term. they've gone out and visited pretty much every competing facility within a 10-mile radius. They've had conversations directly with the fitness center staff at Lake Forest, the Park District facility, not the hospital one. They're collecting a lot of really good data. The next step in that, we have interviewed, and Nikki's been very helpful with this, a firm that's going to do some survey work for us, that on our behalf will be contacting some current members and some former members. Again, finding out why are you there, what do you like about it. I wasn't involved in the conversation, so jump in, but you saw the survey, right, Ron? Okay. So that'll provide some more information. So in addition to that, we want to take the financials and put them in a form that looks a lot like the golf monthly report, where all of the expenses related to the fitness center are captured, not just operating expenses. We've got to look at the debt service, we've got to look at fringe costs for the employees to get a true picture of what's going on. Preliminary stuff that I saw, it's worse than 0, but probably better than -200. Not a good place to be. So there's going to be some work there to put that report together so that we have a baseline financially and can set some targets going forward. How do we get back to 0 and hopefully above 0? This is all what we're calling phase 1. And we hope to have that phase 1 completed, or will have it completed, looking at Ron, for the board meeting in July. Not the survey, not the outside stuff. The stuff that we can control will be done by the end of July. There's a lot of cost of service analysis work going on as well, so we don't want to complete our overall analysis of the fitness center and then 2 months later have some stuff come out of cost of service that we thought might be useful. So really by August, or probably by the end of August, we'll have everything put together, and then we can start moving in the direction of, okay, now we know what we are, where we've come from, let's start having some conversations now about what we want to be. Those conversations will involve a lot more people than just staff at the fitness center. Will involve us, will involve other community members, maybe some professional marketing people, maybe some professional fitness people. We don't quite know yet, but I thought enough time had gone by that we should at least we should acknowledge all that time and at least give you guys an update, as cursory as it is, about what's been going on. They've done some short-term fixes. I know that the Group X class schedule has been lessened, right, a little bit. They've taken some of those classes away at certain times. They've done a lot of work on the membership side from a recruitment standpoint. They are capturing better data at that front desk. So they're trying to do what they can to make some smaller changes while we wait for the data to be collected and kind of start talking about strategy and next steps. So there's my brief update on fitness.
That's great.
We will, for the quarterly report, have the financial report that Chris has mentioned. So we will have that for the July meeting during our quarterly conversation.
So is that, basically taking or extrapolating that cost of services, but putting them into different formats specifically, right? But that's been done, right? So we'll be, a lot of that information.
Well, the financial report I'm referring to is the one we're looking at for golf now.
Okay.
That has the Billy Casper, then it has us from a revenue and expense standpoint operating. Then it includes all of the indirect costs,
Right.
which are mainly the fringe costs for the employees.
Right.
And then the debt service to come to a true
Right.
bottom line. Other than the Billy Casper piece, we're going to do the same thing for the fitness
Okay.
center. It's just that it's all us.
Yeah, cost of services is a little bit different because cost of services will factor my time, Sarah's time, other.
Okay, so we wouldn't be doing that, what you're referring to?
Not what I'm
Fitness.
referring to,
Okay.
no.
Okay,
That's kind of a separate conversation,
Right.
what we want to do as a group about that.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I misunderstood, okay. I thought we were trying to get to like every penny that we were going to allocate to each one of these venues or these particular.
Yeah, that would be cost of service. Because in the golf report, Ron is not in golf.
Only just add.
Part of
Part
it,
of it, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
so that's kind of a separate discussion.
Are we on kind of the schedule that we were hoping to be on? Do we feel like
Well,
we're?
my schedule is always faster than I always want it done sooner, and it's not due to any staff or any, or it's just, trying, I think when we bring in this research analyst, it's gonna take some time. That's gonna take a good month to be able to get some good information. So by the time we meet with some focus groups, get out a survey, it just takes time. And so we're trying to move as quickly as we can. We meet, our strategy team meets regularly, almost every week.
So I don't know, press on any kind of deadline, but what's a target? Are we looking at the fall, hopefully?
Oh,
to-
before
Yeah.
budget, going into bio.
Going into the budget, we'll have hopefully our arms around this and have a sense of, well, who we are and where we want to go with this.
We'll definitely have we'll have the where are we done by the end of August, let's say.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll have to take some time from there because it's not going to be easy to figure out where we want to go.
Yeah.
That's not a 2-week discussion. So,
And I think the survey is more about those who have left, right? What about the other group who have never joined?
well, we're hoping that those are included as well.
Well, I
That was
Yes.
our goal.
Well, it's not. We agreed because we're going to be addressing that in the community-wide survey. So the community-wide survey will tie into that, so we didn't want to duplicate our efforts there.
And so what's the timing of that?
We're interviewing firms on Thursday, so once we get a good feel for the village, school district, and I are meeting with them.
You might want to just ask, since you're going through the process, what would it cost to add in
Yeah, I would almost.
another X number of community members that have never been members of the
Okay.
fitness center?
I just think
And it may be a
it's an
small
important
add-on
piece
cost.
because it's very focused on those who used to be, who just recently dropped and I think it'd be good for those who've never considered or
Yeah.
been part of,
Why haven't
or
you?
why not? And I think that might be actually a bigger part of the community than just those who've dropped.
I think we
Obviously,
focused.
a much larger
when we met.
percentage of the community, yeah.
We saw a significant amount that have dropped over the years, and he was concerned with that, so he said that there's something going on there.
Yes,
So
I would agree with that. I don't think we're debating
That's,
that one.
yeah, that's good data as well, but
But those who
Yeah.
have never joined or who have had a very limited involvement, but that live in the community, that was just kind of missed from what I saw. And
we
so
bring that up.
I think it'd be good to get a piece,
Okay.
Yeah.
a third maybe of the voice.
Are we gonna be far enough along on a strategy thought to include questions in the survey toward that, or not?
in the larger
Yes.
survey,
And then, well, the
potentially,
community-wide
depends on
survey-
the time of that.
Well, the
timing.
challenge of the community-wide survey is we wanted to reduce our costs, so we're doing a community-wide survey. So we're going to have less questions than if we were to do it ourselves.
Okay.
So we might have had 30 questions in it if we did it, if we paid for it ourselves. Cost us $30,000. Now we're going to be getting 10 questions, I don't know the exact number.
I thought the school dropped out, are they back in?
They are back in now.
Ah,
They are now back in.
okay.
So those questions are going to be strategic questions. We really got to know how to really.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that would be involvement of the board. And
So it
So
sounds
we
like-
could always add more questions. And again, that was one consultant that we talked with, so it'll be interesting. We have 3 interviews, so we'll understand their process.
So it feels like, we're going to go into the budget season, this thing will be kind of following kind of beneath the surface, but close behind, I think is.
Yeah.
is gonna be
Yes.
one. Okay.
Agreed.
Because we don't want to push it too hard, because you want to make sure you get good, solid.
I want to make some
information.
good decisions
Yeah.
too, so not to be rushed.
Yeah.
And remember, the budget is just a document. You can amend the budget if you had to in January. I mean, we want to move forward towards the budget, but it's a tool.
Well, thank you, Chris, for still kind of doing an overview.
Yeah, I
Perspective
mean,
here.
it's a focus. So it's getting a lot of attention and will get more in the coming months, so.
Well, and from what I've observed, you know, it's, that industry, like the golf industry, they're both dealing with, you know, similar challenges as far as how the marketplace is changing things. And they're both challenged. So
And
I
one
think
thing,
they really work well in parallel because they're both very similar in those market forces.
the one thing Commissioner Mossberger did bring up is we've been focused on the retention aspect, so calling those who have not been. It's been very effective, and they've worked really hard on that. Our next challenge is how do we get some of those new people in? So we'll be working with the facilities and committees. I mean, it's a challenge. We're a small operation. We don't have all the resources, but we might have to go bring in a firm to help us go get new members. And that's just not our specialty. So we have the retention side down, and the data, as Commissioner Mossberger was saying, it's now also how do we go get new members. And we're not salespeople, so that's, yeah, we have some challenges there.
We also have to remember that our facility upstairs is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, all the windows, I mean, it's very inviting, so I wish you guys luck. This is great. And, but it is really a beautiful facility up there. It's
And convenient.
and convenient. How is, may I ask how personal training is doing? Because I know that we were having such trouble with that. Is that, that hooked up?
Yeah, it's been
Too early to ask.
slow moving, and we're going to address that with the committees. We've been talking about it as a strategy team, but I want a quick synopsis.
Yeah, we've been doing, I mean, we've definitely been performing better than we had been at the, really Q1. Q2 is outperforming at this point, Q1. I think we hit budget. That money gets deferred as well, so we don't see like those instant gratification wins of our sales because we take that revenue and defer it out over 12 months. But we're back tracking towards budget on a month-by-month basis. Now, whether we catch up to budget, and we lowered the bar this year. Every previous years, we'd always kind of had this big growth number built into our budget. I believe the budget for personal training is $45,000, which is half of what it was last year. But we're tracking with our monthly budgets now. So hopefully we do start seeing some growth and some, you know, surpassing those monthly budgets. So we're seeing a little bit of traction. Encouraged.
I think in like Bluff, one of the things that works really well is to give our members an incentive to bring in new members and make it really good and juicy. Like $200 or, you know, for whoever brings in the most new members from this period to this period, or like a flashy, cool, new, like beach bum kind of bike. Put it up there, because the best salespeople are people using the facilities. And if I knew there was something, well, not me personally, but because I do it anyways. But if I was walking up there and I was like, hey, what's up with that cool bike? Well, guess what? You could actually win this bike, or whatever it is, if you bring in 2 new members or something. Because let them go out, because they know people, they know neighbors, they have friends. Let them go out and sell the club. It's an inexpensive way to advertise our club. And let them bring in somebody, and we give them a pass. We hand them a pass for a free week and let people try it. Because if we start using our community, people want to be working out where their neighbors and friends are at. It's more fun than going to a club where you don't know anyone and you have to drive 15 minutes. Because I've talked to people that have been at, you know, different clubs, and I've said, why are you here? And they're like, there's the feeling of being in Lake Bluff when you're upstairs. It's a neighborly, fun community feel. But some people don't know that because they've never even been up there. I've seen a lot of women leave preschool, and I don't even know if they know what's up there. They've never been up there. So once they get a taste of it, I think they'd really like it.
I agree.
You're gonna head up our new business.
Marketing campaign.
Marketing.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we just found our person.
Well,
New membership?
You know,
New membership coordinator.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
you know, I'm there every day, so I'm one of those who just love coming here, and so I think the rest of the community should benefit from the same benefit that I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I like the stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not exposed, no one invites you, if there's no promotion, if there's no incentive, you know, it's hard to maybe get started or get to know it. So I completely
Do you know the
agree.
first couple of years I worked out up there, I thought Group X was a club you had to join. I didn't even know what that meant.
It is.
Well, it is.
Yeah, no, but I really thought it was like a specific group of people that I wasn't really going to, supposed to be part of. But I was like, are we all invited to do Group X? So.
I know, there's a piece that's exposure, incentive, community, reach out.
Yeah.
But it's good, the service is great.
Well, all great ideas, but
Phase 2.
we'll get the data first, let's get this baseline,
Phase 2.
so we have something we can really measure from, but I think these are all great ideas. So stay tuned. You just committed yourself, so.
Yep. I heard
I'm the new membership coordinator.
it. Yep.
All right.
Any other questions on this particular subject, or should we move on to the budget?
Sure. On page 54, we have the yellow highlighted area that's net before capital and other. This is a district-wide report where the year-to-date budget is anticipated loss, and so we're doing better than budget. This is through May. This does not include May golf numbers, which Ed was able to obtain. This is April numbers. We get golf June 20th. So we're always a month behind. This is always going to be the case, but Ed will give a stronger report on the golf. It's not great news. So when Ed walks through that,
So don't let your committee forget about it.
I know. Chris, we just got to say like 4 or 5
Really?
o'clock.
Yes.
So,
I'm focused on fitness now.
yeah. Sorry, we got it. We just got it in, so it wasn't.
Sucking me back into golf.
No. Focus is different.
So overall, there's definitely some areas that are doing extremely well. So when we get to the quarterly report, we'll be going through this because we're mostly going through 6 months. We have our pool memberships, we'll have some beach daily revenue, and then as well as our camps and things like that. So that's why I would hold tight for me to project where we're going to be at the end of the year. It's way too soon. It's good that we're up $176,000 better than budget. So, most of it's, we don't see a whole lot of timing of some things. We've had some savings in personnel, as you can see at the bottom of 54. So there are some savings in some areas where we're going to get hit in some areas is where some of the staff will talk about. But at least I figured I'd turn it over to staff to they'll go through a couple quick things, but at least questions on district-wide financials. So we're at least
But the number, just so we're up
76.
176, and we know golf in May gave back at least 50.
He's gonna go through that, yeah.
Okay.
So that's,
Okay.
so factor that in.
Yep.
When Ed goes through his report.
Still
Okay.
125.
So
Okay.
why don't you just start with that?
Sure.
And so we
So I'll jump right into golf. Yeah, golf, April was a challenge for us, but then May was a bigger challenge. So that number change will be about $50,000 is where we missed forecast from a revenue standpoint. Expenses, I anticipate in May to come in even to budget. I don't see any savings there right now, but we missed budget by about, well, not by about, we missed budget by $56,000 or $50,000 to budget. So at the end of May, our 4 areas that we're going to be shortfall to budget, $27,000 in green fees, $12,000 in memberships. That number, because we do defer revenues there, will slightly grow over the next 4 months. Golf carts at $9,000 and range balls at $5,000. To give you an even more updated number, so I asked Dominic, we met today, because Father's Day weekend is such a big weekend for us at the golf course. It's kind of like our Black Friday. Sunday was outstanding. We had 260 golfers, did a little over $11,000 in revenue, which is a great day for us. Definitely in our top 10 of days we've had in the last 5-10 years. The struggle was Saturday we had rain. We got rain in the morning, washed out part of the morning. We got rain again in the afternoon, washed out part of the afternoon. We didn't have riding carts during the day on Saturday. So June's forecast, so we gave back 50 in May. Right now we're trending at $3,000 down in revenues in June. We'll know a lot more when we come out of next weekend. And obviously we'll provide that 6-month Q2 report at the board meeting in January or in July. That'll give us a little bit more of a feeling on where we'll be at the end of the year with golf. But weather has been a challenge for us in the early part of the summer so far. Any questions on golf? Be happy.
Yeah, so we normally get that report on the 20th, so that's like an audited, internal audited number, so.
Even if going forward, we just had the revenues without the expenses, because we know the revenues are very
Right.
close to them. Just because we're on a month lag, it's a little hard to,
Yeah.
and I understand it, but even if we just knew revenues, so you could say the current month revenues are a plus or minus or whatever, so just give us a little sense of it.
Maybe what we can do, because sometimes we don't know by the time Dominic turns it in, but what we can do if we know ahead of time, we can put it below the line here, and maybe we can put something like May.
Or just put it in a footnote or whatever, just
Put a
so we
footnote
got
or
the
something.
revenues. You don't need to dig into expenses and everything, but,
Yeah, Dominic, when I saw Dominic on Saturday, he said, he originally told me, I think when Ed was on vacation, maybe it was gonna be about 35,000. So that's why I'm hesitant to give numbers all the time
Okay.
until Ed really speaks with them.
okay.
But we will do that when we get it.
Fitness center out of May is $18,000 unfavorable to budget. 15,000 of that is on the revenue side. We're $4,000 unfavorable in memberships. We'll provide a more detailed report next month with the first quarter or with the second quarter. But trend-wise, we're picking up some steam with regards to memberships. We've definitely just blown our budget for quarterly and monthly memberships out of the water. Our annuals are still kind of trending behind budget right now. Unfortunately, if we do pick up some traction, a lot of that money is going to get deferred back out to 2018. So we may not see a full recovery of that $4,000 that we are shortfall to budget right now, but I'll do a full analysis and provide that at the meeting next month. Group X is $4,000 unfavorable. Right now, all my forecasts say that should probably hold through the end of the year, and personal training is $3,000 unfavorable. But as I spoke with a comment or question with Commissioner Earhart, I actually believe that trend is starting to move in the right direction, that we could actually see some traction between now and the end of the year, just because that was a fairly attainable revenue number for us this year. Racket sports is even to budget. We're $4,000 unfavorable on $4,000 unfavorable on the revenue side, but that's just the timing of some league fees that were just put into an early month that should have been put in later. So that's a real small little thing, and expenses are just a timing issue. So we're right on pace with budget. I fully anticipate us to continue that way until we get into paddle season in the fall.
Rob?
Overall maintenance, that includes golf parks, facility, and aquatic, we're $34,000 under budget. The one thing that sticks out to me is personnel services, we're about $20,000 under budget in just personnel services. In parks, we had some changes in staff, structure this winter, and hiring those spots took a little longer than we expected. And also we're still struggling to get fully staffed. Right now, we're down 2 employees, 1 in parks and 1 in golf.
Are you optimistic that those might, we have anybody on the?
It's tough.
Yeah.
For the last 3 weeks, I've been making phone calls, trying to set up interviews, and have gotten 0 callbacks. So it's a struggle to find the guys and get them in.
Stretch. You're doing a great job of being very stretch. Jim?
So I'm gonna start with pool, and I'm actually gonna give you like a year-to-date today report on memberships. So what we budgeted for year-to-date overall was 106,160. As of today, we're at 112,223. So we are ahead of budget. We've exceeded budget expectations for pool memberships. So that was good news that because of the warm weather, that's I think has really significantly helped out with the pool memberships hitting early. Camp right now, I'm going to give you another year-to-date number. It's still early because most of our camp dollars come in the month of June, so we're not done with June. So this is up to June 11th. Right now we're at 265,806, and month to date, budget-wise for 2017, we are $7,620 under budget. So I feel pretty confident we're going to hit that $7,600 before the end of June. Beach, just to kind of give everybody indication on some of the 2 focus areas we did was dog tags and shelter rentals. So shelter rentals, we had budgeted $8,700. We took an account from past history when we budgeted that. We also took an account with the increase with the history. We've exceeded budget by $3,990, so we're at $12,690 for beach shelter rentals. Dog tags, they're still coming in. Focus on the resident. We budgeted $3,640, and right now we're currently at $2,774. For year to date, we're only $866 away from hitting budget year to date. Any questions? It's kind of early for daily fees for both pool and beach. We just opened up those amenities just 3 weeks ago. So.
Jim, can you remind me, and I'm on this committee, I can't remember, it's been so long ago we talked about it. Do we have non-resident dog tag fees?
Yes, we do. It's $150.
And did you say in the report that we're getting the non-resident?
So it was really for dog resident tags, non-resident, we've already exceeded budget on that, by $1,950. So we're seeing a lot more, quite a bit more non-residents again coming to the beach. Typically we only sell like 3 or 4 of these, and we've sold quite a few. We're also really enforcing, the whole dog tag thing, because now that we added that cost of service fee of $7.50, that we're really trying to make sure that we do our diligence and make sure everybody pays.
And people check on the beach?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Good job, thank you.
And what's the resident fees for the dog tag?
$7.50. And that's just the cost of the tag, and as well as the dog mitts. So, and just some cleaning as well that goes on.
I've heard positive feedback about the cost of the dog tags, by the way, and no complaints. They say, well, we'll talk about that first.
Yeah, I did put in my verbal report, she asked me to make a statement, because concerned about fees in the shelter, so it's almost with alcohol, almost $300, so I put it in my written report, but I wanted to make sure she was watching and she was aware. So, that you were aware.
All right.
Anything more or any more questions on May financials? Could I have a motion to approve the May financials as reported?
So moved.
Second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Earhart,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry,
Yes.
Commissioner Mossbarger,
Yes.
Commissioner Patera,
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace,
Yes.
President Douglas.
Yes. Okay, moving on to purchase cards ratification.
Very similar to last year's purchases, so.
Actually, splitting hairs between those 2 years, isn't it? So, should I have any discussion, any questions on this? I have a motion to ratify the purchase card payment of $47,876.47.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Earhart,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry,
Yes.
Commissioner Mossbarger,
Yes.
Commissioner Patera,
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace,
Yes.
President Douglas.
Yes. Okay, moving on to new business, action items. First item is ordinance 2017H, prevailing wage.
We are required by law to pass an ordinance for prevailing wage, so these are wages that we're required to pay for contractors, so this is the state law.
This is one thing our local community doesn't understand sometimes with our project costs. That they're restricted to union rates, so. Any questions, anyone on this?
No.
So, could I have a motion to adopt the ordinance 2017H prevailing wage rates to be paid to laborers, mechanics, and other workers performing construction and public works for the Lake Bluff Park District?
So moved.
Second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Earhart,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry,
Yes.
Commissioner Mossbarger,
Yes.
Commissioner Patera,
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace,
Yes.
President Douglas.
Yes. Okay, moving on to the triplex green mowers bid.
And before I turn it over to Rob Foster, Commissioner Wallace had some questions for me, sent over some good questions for us. So Rob's going to add some information so related to repair work and costs and things like that. And so this is not, I will tell you, an easy discussion, as we know that next year we'll be discussing a lot and struggling with what to do because this is some equipment that we need, and so there isn't really an easy solution here. We were hoping not to buy anything this year. It was in the budget to buy something, but we were hoping not to, and so we've been writing it out, and it's, we don't want to do that. So, Rob, go ahead and present the memo.
I'll come up here. I like to write and talk at the same time. So I think Bob's question was, okay.
George.
Bring it closer to this one. Rob, bring it this way.
Thank you.
So I think Bob's question was, is there any way we could do this cheaper or get by with one greens mower, or how can we do this without essentially buying the two greens mowers? So we're asking for two new greens mowers. Our old ones are getting old, but it kind of gets a little complicated. I'll write and talk. So we've got two greens mowers and two T mowers that are essentially the same equipment, set at different heights, and they're different cutting units on them. These two greens mowers are year 2000s, and these T mowers are 1999s. So they're the similar age, they're right in the same stage. They're getting old. We're having troubles with motors are losing compression. And there's a valve bank that shoots the hydraulic fluid in all different directions to the tires and to the cutting units. So those valve banks are wearing out too, the parts inside. So one of the T mowers, I bought a new motor and a new valve bank this year. Cost $6,000. We've already done that. We've had breakdowns between these four pieces, and we move heads from one unit to another to create, where we have two that are broken, at least we can get one back together and functioning. One of Bob's question is can we do with one mower, greens mower? And the answer to that is pretty much no. We've got to have 2 greens mowers. And we did have one of these break down this year. And what I did was move the cutting units, so there's 3 units. I moved them over to the T-mower and turned it into a greens mower. So I had 2 greens mowers and then 1 T-mower. But that hurts us in the T's because it takes more than a day to cut T's and collars when you're stuck in traffic. See, the majority of our tricks of the trade are get out in front of the golfers. So if we can get out in front of the golfers with 2 mowers, that saves us time. We can finish greens with 2 guys in about 3 hours. If we have 1 guy mowing, he'll get stuck in traffic as people are trying to play through. He has to wait for them to play. And then he goes out and makes a few more passes until the next group comes up, and then he's got to hold back and wait for the next group. And the same thing goes for T-mowing. As we get caught in golfers, caught in traffic, it turns, it can almost double our mowing time. And that is inefficient on, the employee side, where I don't have as many hours to mow rough and do other jobs that I need to do.
Are these guys on an hourly?
Yes. Yep. So it gets a little complicated, but all 4 of these units, they're getting close to needing new mowers or new motors and new valve banks. We've already invested $6,000 in this particular unit. These aren't far behind. So to answer your question, how can we do it differently? Soon we're going to have to add another $18,000 in motors and valve banks just to keep what we have going. Now, to buy 2 new mowers a set would be somewhere in the $45,000 range. I think it's $555,000. My strategy was to get 2 new greens mowers. So this one would be new, this one would be new. And I would buy probably next year a new motor and a new valve bank for this one. So that would give me 4 fairly reliable units.
What's the market for used?
For our age, when you're looking at the year
No.
2018, used
What would
ones?
a 2012 model cost?
It varies. I'm going to have to do some research and hunt them down. And if we're going to go that route, we need to be fast on purchasing them. Because a few years ago I was trying to buy the rough unit used, a big, large rough mower, and I found one, and it was a pretty good price, like $17,000. And by the time we went to the board and got approval, and I went to them and said, I'll take it, it was gone. It was history. So if we're going to go the used market, we've got to be quick, nimble, ready to cut a check.
And some haven't even been on the market. It's been hard for us to find some of those. So,
Well, it's not really 18, Rob, because you're going to do 6 next year, and it's really 12 to get those 2 replaced, right?
Right, but if we don't do the new ones, we're going to be 6, 6, and 6.
Well, you're going to do the 6 no matter what on the far right anyway.
This one's already done. I've already
No, but not
purchased
the
that.
other
Far
one.
right you're doing next year.
You said you're going to do the 6 anyhow, so we're looking at 12. And what does that 12 buy you? A year, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, it's
Your
not,
guess is as good as mine.
the whole thing isn't new.
Right.
It's going to eliminate 2 of the major components of the mower. Now there's a smaller hydraulic motor that goes to each of the 3 heads, and then there's 2 a little bit bigger hydraulic motors that go to the wheels. So there's other things that can break in the future with all of these.
Understand.
But
With new equipment,
these are the ones that are causing us problems right now.
with new equipment, is this typical lifespan? I mean, I'm seeing 17 years, 18 years. Is that really pushing the envelope when it comes
Yeah.
to?
We're we're using them up.
So if you were to do a, you know, capital replacement, what would you say, typical lifespan is 12 years for the solar?
You know, for greens mowers, yes, I think you can get, greens and tea mowers, you can get a good 18 years out of them. But that's stretching, and right now we're stretching every piece of equipment that we buy.
And normally, Rob, how many courses have how many of these?
Sometimes they have backups. Now, we've got walking greens mowers, but now we don't have the staff to do the walking greens mowers. 'Cause instead of 2 guys mowing greens, I need 5 guys mowing greens in the morning. And we just don't have that kind of labor right now.
With new equipment, and it's got a 15, 18-year lifespan on it, does it hold value?
You know, if we buy new, like a car, it's gonna lose a lot of value as soon as you start using it for the year. You know, in a few years, it's probably worth half that.
I don't know if I understood your question.
Well, I think you just answered it. You know,
Yeah.
if we're looking 3 years out, and let's say we,
I say we give them the
Make
permission to
decisions.
act fast on used equipment.
Yeah.
but I guess, but we got a timing issue right now.
Yeah, but there might not, our challenge is there might not be good used equipment out there. I mean, we're in definitely a pickle situation.
But I thought all these golf courses were struggling and closing.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean their equipment's good or.
It was probably worse than ours. Why they're closing.
When they close, usually.
No, if anyone can find it, you can.
And let me just throw this little curveball in. These greens are the signature of this golf course, so if we don't maintain the greens at the level we've been able to keep them this last year, that's a negative impact. But I recognize the rock and hard spot feeling everyone has here too, so you know, I just want to put that out there.
Very good point.
Can Billy Casper help us find used? Do they have any, I mean, they're supposed
Used
to be.
stuff it's gonna be broader. I'm gonna search a broad market, not just Billy Casper.
Well, of finding used, replacing the engines immediately, which one would you rather do? Notice I didn't give you the new option yet. Go over. That wasn't in your
We're not gonna
AV
argue
choice.
this. You know,
I mean, I think, Bob, it's difficult. I mean, we don't know the condition of any used equipment.
Understand, that's why I'm asking them that question, because if you fix the engines for 6,000 apiece, you got usable equipment presumably very quickly,
yeah,
right?
yeah. But, you know, there's also a price tag. You know, we'll have, including this motor, you know, that's $24,000 that we just put into 20-year-old equipment.
Understand, but as you just said, if we had 100,000, if you bought 4 new units, it's 100,000,
Yeah.
okay? And if they depreciate half in 3 years, we're out 50,000,
This is true.
right? So 24 doesn't look so bad next to 50, that's my only point.
If we get 3 years out of each of those.
So, I understand the fixture, and trust me, I'm,
It is a
I get
bit
it.
of a pickle.
I
you
get
know,
it.
But, I'm willing
It's
to
really
look.
judge, I mean, it's.
I mean, we've had a lot of discussion about next year, this year and next year is really critical for the golf course, and it's, you know, and then we're making a decision to spend 45,000 when we're trying to figure out how to squeeze everything else all over the place. It's really difficult position for you, I understand, and for the board to be, quite honestly.
How did the golf carts play in this? We leased them for a year? What was the golf cart? Just got new golf carts.
We do 4 or 5 years.
We purchased
Built for
40
purchase,
used
so-
cars
We purchased
and
golf carts
financed
just
over
this year or
5
last
years.
year?
This year.
Just this spring.
Yeah, we knew this was gonna happen, that's why we budgeted
Right.
for this,
This
as
is
well
just
as.
not budgeted.
This
No,
is
this,
This was, we were just hoping maybe we could get
Right.
through the year, and it doesn't, and we can't.
No.
It's not even, doesn't appear we can't.
right, and I will tell you, we have another one that is our rough mower, the one that we were pushed back 2 years ago, and we're trying to find a used. And we're in a pickle on that one as well too, so, I mean, this,
It is a capital thing. Ron and I were in his office the other day and we were like, what's on the hot list capital wise? And we listed out like 12 items that are all $25,000 and up each.
the key at some point in time, this is just philosophy, at some point in time, this district has to, when it's 15 years old, you replace it at 15 years old. We have been, before I came here, we were backlogged 7 years before I even got here. And it's just been every year. We don't even like coming to the board anymore, not because you're not supportive, but we just don't know what to do.
Well, we said the same thing about the golf carts, remembering that discussion,
Right.
that, you know, if we were planning for these appropriately, you'd be reserving certain dollars every year, and that would be part of your
Absolutely.
financials. But we're not there
We're
yet.
not.
So it is really hard to look at a $50,000 number. I get the pickle that you're in, but a $50,000 number and say, yeah, you know, not knowing what we're doing a year from now. So, I mean, if you can spend the time to source something used that makes you happy, that would be great. Otherwise, I'm a fan of the quick fix, lower cost, let's buy some time, see what we can get.
Sure.
I'm making an assumption, just what I've learned over the years, that we probably take nice care of our equipment. That's my sense. So that's the devil you know. So I sort of agree. If in fact there's something that you don't find readily available that you're comfortable and tickled about, I sort of like that idea too.
Maybe you move ahead and spend the 6 to fix one of the green side mowers while you search for a used piece.
Right now we're having trouble with one of the greens mowers and the valve bank is starting to go. And my thought process was buy a valve bank, buy a motor, put them on the shelf, and as soon as they go, I got them, I'll swap them out.
I like that idea.
And then I buy another valve bank and motor and kind of wait for the next one to kick the bucket. When that happens, I got the parts
On the shelf.
Yeah,
on the shelf and it's,
then you're not coming back here to get dollars approved and,
right,
yeah, no, that's smart.
And Rob, I know it's not ideal. We know it's not ideal.
yeah.
We get it. You know, and I think when we get make a more permanent decision on that, so I think we can make more permanent decisions on everything. So I'd be, I'm along with just go ahead and fix what you gotta fix and spend those dollars. I think we'll still be ahead on depreciation of new equipment, and then we can relook at it come next year.
Okay. And it's bitter medicine.
But to Rob's point though, if these are fixed, you mow the greens and can maintain the standard of the greens, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've
So,
been struggling with them this spring, but
Right.
right now,
so if you get them fixed, they're functional, it's not a quality issue, you'll be able to maintain the quality, it's just you've had a reliability issue up to this point.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
Okay. I just
concerned
wanted to
about
make sure that there
6
wasn't-
might turn into 10, I mean, we just don't know. And that's
Understand.
our hesitation.
That's a risk.
Sell,
We're all
sell
Yeah.
the option of
Yep.
spending money on a used one, because then all of a sudden you come back to you and say, okay, now we need $4,000 more to
Yeah.
fix the used, and so that's where we've been
Eventually,
struggling.
So,
that doesn't work.
so real quickly on a kind of a budgetary standpoint, we're looking at 6 a pop. So you're potentially thinking it could be, we should allow probably about 18,000 for repairs and equipment.
Yeah, we have $11,000 budget. It's a red
For
budget.
what? For repairs?
It was for at
It's
least
for the
payment.
first year of this payment.
For the first
Oh,
year
I
of this
see.
payment.
Okay, so let's
So
say
that effectively
fix
takes
all
care
3
of
of
the
them.
2
Get
green.
get all 3 of them where you need them to get.
So we're looking at 18K for our kind of repair budget here.
Yes.
11 already said so.
Okay. just
Will you
wanna-
let us know in July how your duct tape and chewing gum goes?
Yes, I'll keep you
Okay.
So my suggestion for this one, this is more perfunctory. In case of major disaster, we don't reject the bid. Let's just, doesn't mean we're gonna go, you don't have to do anything. So if Rob calls for a motion, the ideal thing is not to give it a first, or some, no, if he just calls for a motion, no one makes a motion, and if he declares that it dies, that we can reject it in July. It just gives us flexibility if for some reason there was a major situation that,
He finds out it's 15 instead of 6.
or something. So, you've never really had that since I've been here, so you could always, we're asking for a motion to accept
Table
or
it.
reject. But if no one makes a motion, if he calls for a
We're just
motion, and
silent.
no one makes it,
How long do we have to be silent?
Yeah, but I think what we're saying is we should be shopping.
So funny.
yeah,
Should we be
and
shopping for used equipment right now?
I think that's a smart move.
I do too.
I don't know how labor intensive that is, and you've got claims on your time,
Me
so.
I'll put some feelers out and see
Okay.
if there's
Yeah.
anything.
we've tried.
If you would, that'd be great.
Yeah, we don't have much time, so we'll try to, I mean, the last thing we want to do is be down one,
Agree.
so.
No,
Is this
fix those
seasonal
at the
in
same
terms of
time
pricing
though.
for used equipment?
What's that? What was the
Is
question?
there a seasonality to the pricing of used equipment? Like, by the time November rolls around, it's like, availability?
Well, that's a tough question. Usually I'm always buying in the spring.
That's
so
right, that's what everybody would do.
I'm sure there is, you know, at the end of the year, I'm sure there's some deals to be had.
So I'm just kind of wondering if we should just kind of have a blanket open approval for equipment at the right time.
In case Rob finds something.
Well, unfortunately, because this is about accept or reject a bid, so.
So what you're
That'd be
suggesting
separate.
is a motion's made,
Yes.
no one,
Yeah, we should accept,
no one
but under
seconds
certain
it,
circumstances.
and we just,
No one even creates a first one.
Right, we're just silent.
You're silent, and so then that means we don't have.
It's still
direction,
open.
So we'll have
Okay.
to come back in July with official.
so then without any action being taken on a motion, it's just left to get involved,
Well,
basically.
It has to be read, right, this,
eventually we have to,
In July, you can close it off.
We can
I mean,
close it
once-
off.
Once he knows if he can
Right.
fix it for that price, then great, and get it done, and find a used one, whatever.
And we'll be halfway through the season and have a better sense of
Yeah,
just how to get through to the season then.
so
Okay.
what Rob would do is say,
Is that November?
I'm asking for a motion, and he'd read that. No one would, if you choose not to do anything or act on it, you wouldn't make someone wouldn't make the motion. Does that make sense?
Okay.
30 seconds.
I'm just gonna be
Let's do
quiet. So
whatever
you
you gotta
read
do.
and
Yeah,
I'm
do
quiet,
it.
so we're done.
Move ahead.
Yeah.
So,
All right, thanks.
You say I'm asking for a motion.
yes, can I ask for a motion for this subject item we've been discussing? Since I hear no motion, we will table this until our July meeting.
There you go.
Okay, moving on.
Okay.
Good job, guys.
Well, it's
It's the first one.
and, okay, moving on. Next item, spin bikes. Ron, you want to start out with this? Or Ed, go into this?
Well, I will, yeah, I'm sorry. Tim and I met with the Facilities and Programs Committee. We just had it on the agenda just to tell them the challenges that we had. They requested more information. We weren't able to get a formal approval or anything because we didn't have the information for them. So we shared it with them when the board received it. So just so you know, we weren't able to get to the committee in time.
They had no recommendations.
They had no
It's just
recommendation.
overall, like-
That is correct, but I at least introduced it to them. They requested more information. information, so that's why we're gonna go through this quickly.
I'll let the pictures in my memo speak for themselves, so I don't need to draw.
I offered that if you wanted to use the easel.
I did some nice little circles in here. Yeah. So just real high level, and then received some questions from the board today, so I'll answer those as well. But spin bikes, we've got 13 of them in our spin room since really January, February. We started getting feedback about their functionality from our members. About a quarter of our classes are spin classes. Our initial reaction was, hey, let's go out, let's try to figure out how much it's going to cost to make the necessary repairs. I don't think we had a full grasp until we got the proposal back in March of what exactly needed to go into them, but we're looking at about $8,500 worth of repairs to the existing fleet to bring them back up to functional. That does not address the issues that we're having with the cadence monitors on all of the bikes. Well, half the bikes right now, but we'll eventually have on all of the bikes. Those cadence monitors are another $450 per monitor to replace. So we'd be looking at another roughly $6,000 worth of expense. So about $13,000, $14,000 worth of expense to bring these bikes back up to functionality. So went out, demoed a couple bikes, had staff get feedback from our members. Just kind of cycled around and got on the Cybex IC5 indoor cycle, being the best one for us. Looking at participation numbers, we have 13 in the room. We haven't had a class yet this year that's had more than 10 participants. We didn't feel we needed to go all the way to 13. We'd scale back to that 10, max 10 number. And so that is the recommendation that we're putting forward to the board tonight. A couple questions that were raised by Commissioner Patera. The demo bike that we had upstairs did have a cracked screen on it. That screen was cracked prior to us receiving it as a demo. It's a demo that sits in the back of a guy's truck. In transportation at some point it was dropped and the screen was cracked. So that was not as a part of the actual, anytime it was in a fitness center or at our fitness center, it came to us that way. With regards to warranty issues, the new bikes would receive a 5-year warranty on frame construction and welding, 3 years on all non-electronics, and a 1-year warranty on all the electronic components of the bike. The areas that are not covered under warranty would be similar to things that you wouldn't get covered, like with your car warranty, pedal straps, pedal bindings, the saddle surface, kind of those natural wear and tear areas are not covered under a warranty. So that would be the stuff that we would potentially have initial issues with, but I don't anticipate that. I believe that was the bulk of the questions, unless I missed anything. I think that was it. So happy to answer any questions that you have.
Let me add an additional piece of information that either you or Ron had provided me at one point. I was curious to know, kind of like a cost of service thing. Does spin make money or lose money? Revenue associated with the spin participants is about $25,000. Expenses are about 15 grand. So we actually make money on spin. One of the few classes where we're actually positive. So I thought that was useful information when determining whether we should be spending money on spin or not.
Good info.
How do you know that? Because
You know,
you buy a
Commissioner Mossberger asked that question at the committee meeting, and Tim and I supplied that, and I did not give that to, Ed was on vacation at the time, so we didn't get it.
So we're making the assumption that many of those spin participants are there primarily for spin. They're not using the facility for much else. So if you had bikes that weren't working, they likely wouldn't be members anymore. They would find some other place to do spin. That may not be a good assumption or not, but that's what we ran with. Yeah.
Okay. And they identified some savings this year too to offset this year's lease costs.
However, there's not a spin membership,
Correct.
so it's an assumption.
Something our new business coordinator may be working on. But yes, it is an
I want to be
assumption.
busy.
I
You are
mean,
gonna
I'm
be
just
busy.
saying that I don't think there's a lot of group X for men overall. It's mostly, there's not a lot of group X for men, period. My husband was looking at the schedule, going, okay, what can I join? And the spin was really the only thing he would consider. Not that I've seen a lot of men in spinning, but,
There are quite a few.
No, I mean,
Not
that's a
mine.
good point though. A lot of men love spin
yeah. And
versus
so
like,
potentially for a male, it might be appropriate to make the assumption, so I'm not sure how many other Group X classes have male participants. Do you have an idea, Ed?
I would say there's a vast majority are female. I don't have that
Most,
percentage.
yes, so most of Group
participants are
X
female.
is female. And in all of my spin classes, it's been mostly female. But I would assume that there are potentially male, different times of day that are only doing Group X for spin. I'm just not sure if, I think there's a gender thing going on there, is what I would say.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is what I would say.
how many men actually buy Group X?
I don't have that number. I would just fall back that there's a majority are female.
Yeah, I'm just not sure that there's that many females that would buy Group X just for spin. So I'm just testing your theory on membership associations according to the question.
Yeah.
But I believe for men, it would be appropriate. I'm not sure if it's appropriate for the female population.
The numbers that we gave Mr. Mossberger at the time were some individuals that tend to know that they have purchased a membership just to do
Just.
spin. So those were factored in that. And there's
Well-
some who just pay.
There is
Okay,
there is a very strong following with, it's small, but there's a cult kind of.
There's a cult.
Spin participants, and that was really where we initially heard the feedback about the existing bikes. And that was, that, I wouldn't, Tim would know the exact number on who's in that, but I would venture to say it's at least a dozen. I mean, that really, that's all we ever see them do. Up there is just spin classes.
And do you see seasonality with spinning?
Yes and no. It follows in the same kind of trends that Group X has, inside, outside. It's a great feeder program because you can be outside and bike in the summer. So we have a lot of people that take advantage of like the local area biking clubs in the summer. So we do see a slight decline in our participation in the summer, but then it's fairly strong the rest of the year.
So I have the breakdown that we gave Commissioner Mossberger. So spin participants purchase combo memberships with 50% of the revenue is allocated to Group X and spin and 50% to memberships. So we track the members who have these passes and they mostly do spin classes. If we don't have spin, they wouldn't join. Therefore, the 20 includes allocated memberships. So.
Good.
Well, we've also got that it's 13,000 plus to fix the stuff versus 15 to buy it, right? It's 13,000 something to fix it versus 15,000 to buy it new. So it's a little different, math than we were just looking at on that last one. So I mean, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Any other thoughts, questions?
Those view bikes are great.
Better recuse yourself from the vote.
They're really great.
Is there a consensus to move forward with this? Sounds like it might
Yes.
be. Okay, well, I'd like to have a motion to move, to purchase the 10 Cybex IC5 indoor cycle bikes, $15,650 for Midwest Commercial Fitness, and authorize the executive director with the attorney approved to enter into a 36-month lease or loan.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Earhart,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon.
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry,
Yes.
Commissioner Mossberger,
Yes.
Commissioner Patera,
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace.
Yes.
President Douglas.
Yes. Okay, next item, the Safe Haven School request.
Should we go 2 for 2 and table this one? Because I'd like Ms. Schaefer to at least have the opportunity to be here. So
Sure, I have no trouble with that.
then gives maybe a chance for some of the board members to give feedback to the committee. So I think that she wanted to be here and be able to express, and we're in no hurry.
Yeah,
So
it's fine. Yeah, I talked to Commissioner McHenry earlier on this subject. I think it'd be good if we all had moments being able to kind of discuss among ourselves.
And I do have some more information about Artesian Park, why some of the fields were named, so I can add to this. So I don't think it will change my recommendation, but I think it would be good if she had the opportunity to present.
Anybody
It's up
have
to
any
you.
trouble with that?
No.
But we're not gonna have a big discussion at a board meeting about this, right?
No, but you just have to stay quiet while he tables this.
You just said present, so that
She
she gets to
at least
present.
wanted to present, she knew that the Parks and Beach Committee is making a recommendation not to accept her request. So she wanted to come to the board, because it goes to the board, that's a formal approval. So she wanted to come to the board, at least present her letter and make the request as well. But it's up to you, but I just thought I'd give her that opportunity.
Well,
Because we've
I
never
don't know.
had this request before.
How do you
So
feel?
it doesn't matter, it really doesn't matter.
Let's wait.
We can wait or we can
Okay.
discuss. I mean, either way.
Did she present
Does
to
she
your
know about
committee?
this meeting?
Yeah, I brought
Well, she
it
was
up
supposed to be
her,
here
so-
tonight, wasn't
right,
she?
yeah. So I just don't know what,
So let's table it, give her one more
Well-
chance.
Just one more
And
chance.
then,
But one more chance to present her letter.
yes, it'd be the same memo. I would add a couple things in terms of history of how fields were named or how,
Yeah, I'm starting to agree with Rob. I don't think it's
just
necessary.
trying to avoid a half-hour discussion at the
Yeah.
board meeting
Because
about
we've made
something
our
that you
decision.
guys have already,
I just
Yeah.
threw it out as an
Discuss.
option.
And your
but I don't
committee
mind.
says, No,
Yeah,
I'm with you guys.
So
yeah. I think we should move forward.
that's fine, I just threw it out as an option, so you can.
and she was aware of this meeting and had a chance to
Yeah.
come
Yeah,
here.
that's correct.
And she can, come to the next board meeting and speak at the very beginning with a statement. But, yeah.
So I'm perfectly fine.
They're saying
Tell me
they
what
don't
the
want
results
that.
are.
Well, no, but I mean, she could still have.
Right, she's still free to come here next month. We're just saying, I personally agree with the committee recommendation, and I would say, no, we don't change it.
All right.
My opinion.
So in essence, wouldn't be any difference if she came and spoke as a visitor. If you know, I mean,
So then,
it'd be like the
then
same.
I would go ahead.
It's just her name's not on the agenda, if she so chose.
I think
And
what
it
Ron
wouldn't be
suggested
next
is
time
sort of
either, I
courtesy.
think it would just be
Yeah.
statement of visitors.
It's a
The next
courtesy,
board meeting.
Yeah.
Right.
it's a courtesy gesture, is what.
But if you already know in your minds what you want to do, then you go ahead and, well, I just was throwing it out there, so that's all.
Yeah, I prefer not to waste your time.
Okay, well, then we will move forward with this subject item. And Ron, do you want to provide a little more background on this, or
I received.
or should I have the committee?
I don't-
Should the committee?
We all
say?
read it and everything.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, just the committee's recommendation is to leave the name as is,
As
Yes.
is.
correct?
Yes.
I am in agreement with that.
There is no official name, so what we are requesting that you actually name it.
It's referred
We're
to-
just
it's referred
denying
to as
her
West.
request to change the name to Safe Haven Park,
Okay.
or whatever it is. That's what we're being asked to consider, right?
And
Changing
to
the name.
officially name West Park, to name it West Park.
Residents who have grown up there refer to it as West Park. And it's for generations. That's the
It's
one name
commonly-
that they all
It's
know.
commonly known.
Commonly
as-
Commonly
known
known
as
as-
West Park, even
And
though.
West,
West School.
and West School.
Yes.
So,
So it's to deny the request and officially name the park as
It's
West Park.
both.
Yeah,
Yes.
and just to give you a little background on this, from my standpoint, when I first came onto this board, I was on this committee. I did research on that park, found the original farm that was there, tried to get the Knoll community to take that on as an identity, couldn't get any traction. So it remains West Park. I mean, the community didn't step up, just couldn't get any traction. So, so I was trying to do the historic kind of thing. But, yeah, West Park, that's what it's always known to be, and that's what it should be.
But one thing we did discuss is that we do think, you know, she brought up a good point, maybe it's confusing for people, the actual name. So we would like to put the signage that we have at Artesian and Blair and actually have a sign that says West Park. So there isn't confusion because, you know, Rob made a comment that he actually drove by there and there's a Shields Township sign, but there isn't a West Park sign. And that could be confusing to people, especially when, you know, we for years, I've been here for 24 years, and when kids went over there for T-ball, it would be go over to West Park. Or girls softball, go over to West Park. So the park district has used that name. So maybe what we could do, so there isn't confusion going down the road, is have a nice sign made like we have at Artesian and Blair and put West Park there. And then Rob, did you agree that we should maybe have the Shields Township sign moved?
There's some tidying up we can do over there.
Okay.
No question. Because the Shields Township sign, when you drive in there, it looks like it's their park. It's got it floating out in the middle of the field, it's not on the building. So that's a little odd. But, you know, your committee will come up with some recommendations on how to tidy up the West Park signage all around there. I think we can come up with something that's made up and bring clarity and identity to the location. So, so I guess moving forward on this, I guess we'll have, may I have a motion to move to deny the request for the Safe Haven School, officially named the park, West Park, and keep the current field names of Westfield 1, Westfield 2, and Westfield 3, which are on each one of the diamond locations.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Earhart?
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon?
Yes.
Commissioner McHenry?
Yes.
Commissioner Mossberger?
Yes.
Commissioner Patera?
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace?
Yes.
President Douglas?
Yes. Okay, next item, board committee appointments. As you can see here, it's pretty much the same as it was, except Franz is moving on to the facilities and programs, filling Kurt's location, really, and the position. And Chris be chairing that committee. I'll be taking the foundation position, and Franz has been nice enough to be my alternate in case I can't make one of those meetings. We do have one citizen position to fill, so let's see, which one was that? I can't remember.
Finance.
There
The
we
one I
go.
used to be on.
Yeah. So I guess we'll leave it up to that committee to. How did we actually make those initial?
We have an application process.
That's what it was, right.
I have to talk to both of them.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's start working towards trying to fill that position.
Yeah.
So, I guess I should be getting a motion to move that the aforementioned appointments be accepted. Should I have read those out, Ron?
You can say as stated,
As stated.
and with the addition of Commissioner Patera being the alternate.
Right, okay,
It's
well,
still open.
okay. Move for the aforementioned appointments to be accepted and ratified for the 2017-18 calendar year, including Commissioner Patera being the alternate on the foundation. So,
Moved.
is there a
Second.
second out there? And then it's a voice vote will be taken. I don't know if that's all we know, but roll call, please.
Commissioner Earhart,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon,
Yes.
Commissioner McHenry,
Yes.
Commissioner Mossberger,
Yes.
Commissioner Patera,
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace,
Yes.
President Douglas.
Yes. Okay. And those positions aren't etched in stone. If people want to start shuffling around some of the year, we can certainly accommodate, so. Written communications, Ron. Okay. Yeah. One commissioner on the road, that's a little rough ride there. Yikes. Correspondences, I guess at this point then, we have verbal communications from staff.
Yeah, I'd just like to highlight two quick things. Most important is a consultant is asking if we could meet as a committee of the whole special meeting. And I have down July 31st. If that doesn't work, the following Monday, so that doesn't work for you. How about the following Monday? That'd be our last resort, which would be someone have a calendar?
August 7th.
August 7th.
That's fine.
Committee of the whole meeting.
Tough time.
Yeah, I think I could be out of town.
August 7th.
What day is it? Sorry.
Mondays, we try to do Mondays.
It's just a tough
7th?
couple weeks in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna find
Tough.
half the group gone.
I'm okay.
I think it's important that everyone is,
Everybody.
yeah, especially, we're going to be discussing goals related to the cost of services and a couple other things, so. Maybe I'll just send out some dates, because I know we tried Mondays, so we'll want to work around Commissioner Gordon's schedule. So,
The
Does it
7th
have to
doesn't
be
work.
for-
The 7th doesn't work.
It sounded like for a few it does not.
Good for me.
but yeah, I think it's important that we get everyone. Maybe what we'll do is we'll send out some dates and just, I know those 2 dates don't work, but maybe those 2 weeks are completely out.
Tuesdays are pretty good for me too.
We have the,
I can do
it
Tuesday.
sounds like those weeks aren't good.
What week's in September?
The weeks of the 31st and the 7th, yes.
The 31st to the 7th, I'm
Okay.
out of town. I don't know if anyone's out of town then that next week, the 7th to the
Yes.
12th,
Yes.
whatever it is.
On the 7th.
They're gone on the 7th. All right, so.
I would look more towards middle of August.
I'm going.
Yeah, I'm going, I
I'm
know.
out.
I'll talk to her, and I'll want to make sure everyone's there, so we'll accommodate everyone's schedule. So this is really important.
Gives you a challenge, it sounds like.
We'll make it work. We'll figure it out.
Well,
It's-
How about the majority of
I'm
us?
gonna be gone a
Because I
while,
think that whole month is gonna be really tough
Have
to
you
get
met with them?
everybody.
Committee meets with them or
We
something.
already met with them once.
Ron,
Oh,
can
you
do
have.
that?
Okay.
Whatever, send some dates out.
Okay, I'll let them know.
I'm gone a while.
Um,
So I could call
Yeah,
in.
stop rubbing it
Or
in.
text
Rubbing
in.
it in, Bob.
I could call in.
Unfortunately.
Just want to tell us where
okay.
you're gonna be.
You know,
So, okay, we'll figure it out. I just want to let you know that the village board did approve the 4th court with the deck. So, the village board did a great job, and they waived our fees as normal, so please thank them. That is something that we always ask for consideration. And making sure by the end that we have all the signatures. That is really important because we need to have a couple wire transfers and some checks. So we'll make sure we look through those before you leave. That's my report. We're down the line.
No report at this time.
The only thing I'll just add to the written report is with regards to the 4th court, I'm working with Eric with regards to growth strategies. Several things that we've identified is we're going to host several kind of membership drive events. We'll definitely have a large scale open house, but we'll have some smaller events leading up to that in order to try to drum up some business because we're going to have some capacity this year. We are going to develop a referral program. And so we'll do something along those lines. And then Eric has started his conversations and trying to leverage his relationships with some key people within the local area to see if we can try to attract maybe potentially full teams and trying to get a full team to come. So more to come. I'll report next month on some of those strategies, but we are in the process of developing those.
The only thing that I wanted to report on that's not in the report is Rob kind of mentioned, we do have a couple maintenance vacancies that we're trying to fill. It's a tough time to fill a maintenance vacancy. Usually folks are looking for around springtime. So if you know anyone, please send them to our website. We did manage to fill the full-time mechanic. He started last week, so he's getting going on the beach comber, right?
Yeah. Very
So-
good. He's working out real well.
Yeah, so far so good.
Yeah, the only thing I would like to mention is that today was our first day of camp. School finally got out last week, so like one of the last schools. So if any of you are ever interested in attending like even an in-service training, either beach or pool, and want to hear about what we're doing with our lifeguards or our beach attendants, please, just ask when they are, and I'd be more than happy to accommodate you to come to any one of those in-service. As well as if you want to come around and visit one of the camps, feedback is definitely welcome. We're always trying to change camp each and every year, so let me know if that's something of interest.
I came in this morning, 8:45, and the parking lot was full. Could not find a place to park. Could not, I mean, that's not normal. So obviously there's something going on here in the summer. Nice to see. Really nice to see.
That's all report.
Okay, any committee reports at all?
Yeah, just a real quick update, a couple of things. Brock and I had a couple of meetings. First one was cost of services consultant, just kind of getting an update on what their approach is, starting to talk to them about what the final product for the board will be so that it's in a consumable format. So those discussions are underway. That led us into a second discussion then with some financial consultants on how to organize all of the stuff we have. The financials, long-range plan, long-range capital plan, now we're going to overlay cost of services. And this is partly from me saying, we've kind of been trying to patchwork this thing together, and we can't do it that way anymore. We're actually going to have someone who's comes in and helps us organize all this stuff. So we've talked to a couple of people, and we have a good lead on someone who we think can help us do this as we move through this year. So, and that would be some long-range projections, capital plan, including capital plan overlay, how the cost of services fits in, what areas we need to spend more time looking into. This person has some experience in with other park districts on this, and can really, I think, bring some help and some insight to what we're looking at and make it easier for the board.
The gentleman's name again, the cost of services.
That was Matt.
Matt. Yeah. I don't, Bob probably is not going to be as easily impressed as I was, but I was absolutely impressed with the amount of information that has gone into this and the software. Boy, it seems like we could fly the moon with this information. It was, I might be easily impressed with this stuff, but it was awesome.
No, I agree. And the good news is they've got unbelievable detail at a program level. We got to figure out how we get it at our level to make the decisions, and then know we can get back into the detail if we need.
Right.
So, but yes, it's impressive, and it's impressive what you all have put together as a staff on the data to help them get to that point, because it's going to be really critical to have had all that data to make these decisions from. So.
Didn't you say that typically a process like this would be maybe about a 1 year process, but with staff and everybody's motivation, it took about 4 months, I think is what you referred to. Is that right? Is that what I'm thinking you said? Yeah.
All right, and are you done?
I'm done.
Okay. Parks and Beach, there's one item regarding the Lake Bluff Yacht Club, and I'm going to let Jim talk about it regarding life preservers.
Sure. So One of the policies that the Lake Bluff Yacht Club have now instituted is that every member has to wear a life preserver or life jacket when they're on a paddleboard, when they're on a kayak or a sunfish boat. Any member has to wear one. One of the things that they are asking our staff is to help and assist with this process, that they are not to take their eyes off the water. But if we have like a manager that's up and down the beach, that we are to help identify if there are members that aren't wearing one of their personal flotation devices, so that way we can communicate back to them, because that is one of their policies. Ron and I have met with them, and we did tell them the only policy we have is if we have someone who rents a paddleboard or kayak that is Park District owned, then they have to wear a life jacket with that, and we provide that. So just more of for your information, that you'll see that happening down at the beach. We did say that we would purchase some sandwich board signage to help, publicize that people should be wearing life jackets when they're on these watercrafts. So, any questions?
So do you guys will the yacht club provide them for people who don't even know about this?
I don't have that answer, but from when we run our sailing camp, we don't provide them to any of the participants. That's one of the things that they have to provide when they come into our program.
So if somebody complains about this to a lifeguard, the lifeguard's just going to say, this is a policy through the yacht club, like call the yacht club,
Yeah.
right? So I would think that there would be some complaints from paddle boarders and people who have been on these kayaks for years without life preservers.
What if they're not members of the yacht club?
But they're still launching at our beach.
Well, then technically that's interesting. They wouldn't have to wear one.
That's what I'm saying, it's not.
So everyone's going to quit the yacht club.
Oh, I thought it was anyone who launched down there.
No, it's anyone.
It's just a
It's a
member of the
member.
yacht club. Oh.
So if you're
I
not a member and
misunderstood.
you bring your own,
Then you're
then
fine.
you're
Yeah,
fine.
you're at
So will you get notified by the park district that you need to if you're not a member?
The only thing we'll do is we'll just provide the safety information about wearing one. We can't force a non-member to wear them. It's hard to distinguish too sometimes unless you talk to them.
I would agree.
Yeah, so it's tricky because we don't want to upset those individuals that are non-members. So our staff, if they notice it's a member, and that's the first question they're going to ask, are you a yacht club member? So again, it's interaction with our assistant manager and beach manager, not with our lifeguards. We don't
Did our
want.
insurance company tell us that we had to do this?
Yeah. that's
Why
what
are we
I'm
doing
wondering.
it?
Why are we doing that?
No, we're not, hold on.
Yeah.
We're not, this is the yacht club. The yacht club is not, they're an affiliate program.
Mm-hmm.
So the yacht club has changed their bylaws to require their members.
So
So
we're
why
not
are we
policing.
involved?
We are not. Where we're involved is the yacht club. There's just gonna be a little confusion. We're only informing you right now. We're not asking to change policy on the park district side. There's just gonna be confusion that people are gonna think that, okay, is this a yacht club policy? Is this a park district policy? And there's just gonna be some potential in this,
But the thing is that if our lifeguards say it to a paddle
Right.
boarder, it looks like it's the park district.
Yes.
Our lifeguard should be
Yeah,
saying.
our lifeguard,
No,
Why
yeah,
should
so.
we be enforcing?
Yeah, let
Unless
me
we-
explain, first of all, the lifeguards are not to have any communication at
Yes,
all.
exactly.
Okay, they're not to have any communication. They are not to have any communication to any patron anyway. No one's supposed to have a conversation with them because they're watching the water, so they need to be focused on their job. If the beach manager happens to be around when the yacht club compound is open, like on a Sunday, and people are pulling out boats and they're not wearing, they're just mentioning that, by the way, don't forget the yacht club's policy.
I don't
Is the
think
beach
so.
manager our employee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are we doing that?
I would agree.
Stay away from that.
I would stay away. I mean,
Because
you
it
have
didn't happen. I was
secondaries.
down there Sunday, and someone did, one of the guards said, walking by said you need, if you're on the paddleboard, you need to wear a life jacket.
Yeah, we talked to them this morning to
So,
make sure we change
I think it
that.
puts them in a very difficult position.
Okay.
So can we just have a yacht club post a sign and
That's
say,
right.
all
Police
Yeah.
yacht
They
club
can enforce themselves.
paddlers and boaters need to wear a life jacket, and that covers them off, because they're not gonna staff it down. I agree, it puts our staff in a really awkward
Oh, yeah.
position.
Okay.
And it
Okay.
makes it
Just
harder
out of
for them to do
curiosity.
their jobs, and their job is to watch the
Not do
beach.
that.
Watch the
Yeah.
water.
Just out of curiosity, and I'm not sure where I stand or what I feel about this, but why couldn't we require people that are non-members, yacht club members, to wear a life vest?
We just aren't ready to go to the Parks and Beach Committee
Okay, yeah.
and go to the full board.
Again, I
It
don't
would be
know
a,
what to
it would be
think
a
about it.
complete policy change.
Yeah.
We definitely,
I think somebody made a comment, I
Yeah.
thought, we probably could.
no, the board can do what they want,
Yeah.
yeah, they can pass it.
Yeah, and I think it's part of the programs, it's required.
That's correct. Yeah, so like sailing camp, when they go to sailing camp, it's
Right.
required for them to wear
Yeah, I
sailing
get
camp.
that.
Right.
I get
So
that.
anything that's associated with the parks.
We don't have the manpower to
Yeah.
head into a policy like that and to police that, for safety purposes. We have 3 guards up, 1 guard that is in rotation, and then assistant manager on busy days when we have parties to help assist, because there's just a number of other issues that we deal with down there, and then our beach manager. So there's just not enough people to police that.
The goal is to just bring it up to you, try to bring it up to you quickly, knowing that there might be yacht club members, board members, if we choose not to help them enforce, we wanted to make you aware of that, that's all. So we don't want to create more, because it's a small town and they'll come up to you at a party and social engagements and wow, how come you're not helping us enforce? So,
Let the yacht club enforce their own policy.
and that's fine, so that's
All right.
ultimately what we wanted to do.
Because the yacht club wants to keep their members safe.
Yes.
Right.
We really don't care.
Really, I'm trying to enforce
So
that.
it's going to have a little mixed message. I think that Commissioner Gordon.
Looks like
there's
it's
gonna be a
something
little
on more
mixed
than we
message.
need to.
Yeah. Let
Yeah,
them keep
right.
it-
It's clear that they're okay. But this is good for us to be aware. We can-
Our facilities and programs are any
But the
comments?
solution is to have the
Well, I've talked.
signage up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much like how we post,
Under executive session.
without lifeguards, just go at your own risk, this is, they post it, it's their responsibility. Okay. Any other committees at all?
No.
No.
Rock and I will be doing tri-board tomorrow night, and we'll get caught up on what the village and the school is up to. So
Airbnb.
No hotels,
Hotel
those
in our
neighbors.
backyard.
Okay, guys, let's
Yeah. Any other, and I don't have any report, you got all the friends, I don't think there's a whole lot to report this morning. Any commissioner comments at all, otherwise? No?
All right, I've gotten such great feedback about our parks,
The
especially
playground stuff,
from the
too?
playgrounds.
Yeah.
From little kids and adults and grandparents, so, good job, team.
Yeah, fantastic job, you're,
Yeah.
yes, I'm sorry, I did say something. Yes,
But I mean, it's so cool to go down Sheridan Road and look at that spinner and it averages like 15 kids on it at one time. So it's fun. So
great.
all your
Did we
hard
name
work.
it Corey's
Yeah.
Center?
Yeah, I think that should be named
Henry Spinner.
Corey Spinner, I love that.
Yeah.
Let's do that at the next meeting.
It's an excellent.
We can do that for a price.
yeah.
Name rights?
There's a whole
You
name
get
rights.
donation? You
We've
guys
got a whole
have a
naming rights policy we can use for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Could I have someone make a motion to take us into executive session, please?
So moved.
No?
You gotta read like about 300
That's what
lines.
Rock normally is.
No, you started. You don't have it in front of you. Chris? Okay. Yes, I move that we go into executive session for the purpose and discussion of the meetings lawfully closed under the Open Meetings Act, whether for purposes of approval by the district of the minutes or semi-annual review of the minutes, as mandated by section 2.06 for ILCS 120/2C21.
Second.
And roll call, please.
Commissioner Earhart,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon.
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry,
Yes.
Commissioner Mossberger,
Yes.
Commissioner Patera,
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace.
Yes.
President Douglas.
Yes.
All right. Go ahead.
Coming out of executive session, we have a motion to approve Resolution 2017B regarding the release of closed session minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Earhart,
Yes.
Commissioner Gordon.
Yes.
Commissioner McKendry,
Yes.
Commissioner Mossberger,
Yes.
Commissioner Patera,
Yes.
Commissioner Wallace.
Yes.
President Douglas.
Yes. Okay, may I have a motion to adjourn? Or excuse me, I guess all in favor, yes, for a motion for adjournment?
You need a motion now and a
Motion
second.
to adjourn.
During the meeting.
Second.
Roll call, all in favor, say aye.
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 Nays? No nays, we're all done.